on, of the cartridge, I could push on the white or I could push on the plastic fixed section of my cartridge. I'm going to take my thumb and I'll push on the cartridge. And then when it's completely seated in, then I'm going to close the lock. And that's going to complete it. So I've got it in position. I'll seat the flange below. I'll push on the cartridge. It's now all the way in, and that's all the way in. And you can tell that this is all seated. You can give that a little bit of adjustment. So that's it. So that's one way of putting it in. The other way of putting it in, and it reverses out the exact same way. Nothing special about it. The other way of putting it in is simply going to be to not seat the flange, to push this all the way in, to lock, and then take your line and pull and seat this below on the flange. So that's your two different ways of putting just your cartridge in. So that's how you're going to seat your line. So we'll come back out. You guys can replay that as much as you want. Alright, so let's get this little guy a little bit closer. And let's play with this pump. We can turn it on. Alright. The plastic makes a pain in the butt to really see what's going on. But it's got me on channel 1, and the nice thing is when you turn it back on, it saves your settings. I can select channel 1 by actually selecting channel A, and then, because that's my A, and then it's giving me all the metrics of what it is. Alright, so we'll just leave that alone for now. We'll kind of go back to standard display up here. I'm going to go ahead and set channel B. And then I can set it for, it automatically brings up the last thing that was there. So you can see the last person was running at 17 mils per hour. Alright, they had a volume remaining of 150 mils. It was going to take 8 hours and 48 minutes. And, yeah. And then a volume infusion, that's an initial infusion, so it's usually set at 0. So I'm going to actually go ahead and I'm going to pretend that I'm running a common medication. Well, I can go to more options up here. And then this is one of the best features of this thing is it has preset calculations all through the machine. You're still responsible for the medication that you do and how that's set and the speed, but we can go calc on, and then it says drug, question mark. I can go up arrow, down arrow, and I can go through, and it's going to start me running through a Rolodex of very common medications. So I've got milrinone, morphine, norepinephrine, nitroglycerin, nitroprusside, oxytocin, phenylephrine, potassium, procainamide, propofol, okay, theophylline. It goes all through. And you have a data line on the side, so if you have in your service a type of medication that you're frequently running that's not already preset in the Rolodex, you can go ahead and set it in the Rolodex, which is kind of nice. Alright, so let's go ahead back to norepinephrine, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. Now it's going to ask me for my concentration. As soon as I hit up, it's going to say 1 milligram, in, up, 250 mils, okay? What my dose is, I can go up here, I can go, now I'm saying my dose is actually 5 micrograms a minute, but I'm here at 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. You can hit this fast up button. Boom, 1, 2, 2.5, 5. Wow, okay, so it goes fast. So basically it's having like a big dial and then a small accuracy dial. And then at any point you can just come back here. And it's fast up and fast down. The only thing is, you're at the top field, it's gonna drop you, you have to round the horn, you have to go through all the fields. And you can just enter through them to get back to the top field. So now I'm back at the top field, but if I go past it by one, by accident, I gotta go all the way through to get back to that, okay? So, by putting in the concentration and my dosage, it's already giving me my flow rate, 75 mils an hour. Okay? It wants to know when it's going to be done, so I've got 250 bag. Do I just have 100 left in the bag? Do I actually have a full 250? I can adjust that here. And my volume infusion, I'm going to leave it 0. Okay? And that's done. As soon as I come back up to the name, I'm good to go. Now this is all on channel B, so I'm going to go ahead and set my cartridge down. Set my cartridge, flange in, push, lock, ready to go. I'm on channel B. I'm ready to hit start. First check the air sensor. Press enter or recall. I lost my setting. Okay. Clear air at the rate. Going around the horn again. Done and done. Okay, so not quite sure why, but it as soon as I tried to hit it to start, it cleared out all my settings. So I had to go ahead and reset all my settings really quick. Didn't take that long. As soon as I hit start, I'm getting a green light right here, and that's my flow light. That's telling me all is good. I can now switch over to channel A. So this one's flowing. You know, if I looked at here, I can look at a tiny little air bubble inside the line, and I can trace it as it actually flows down. So this guy's going, no issues there because it's green. If I now want to go ahead and set up my next line, I can come over here, and now I'm focused on settings for channel A. Channel B just continues to flow. Now if I'm setting up multiple medications, that's how I'll do it. I'll actually get everything set for the one medication and have it flow, not into the patient, just have it flow. It's just flowing and dripping, you know, into a trash can or on the floor. And while I'm going to go ahead and, because if there's any problems, I want it to alarm me. I want to know that there's a problem first, long before I get everything hooked up and changed over to a patient. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up channel A, go ahead and set up channel C. It really doesn't matter which one you choose. The nice thing is too, when I come back to standard display, this is one of my favorite things about this pump, is I go back to standard display. I don't know if you can see it really well there, but on the bottom for channel B, it's telling me norepi. So I went ahead and set norepi, but the more important thing is it doesn't just say like this is generic right here. It's just telling me 26 mils an hour. Well, 26 mils an hour of what? I'm not entirely sure. Now, old school, I can trace it back. Like I got channel B, it might tell me there's a problem here, and I can trace it back real quick. Boom, double check. Okay, what med is this? And I gotta know what the priority of that med is. You know, if I'm just flowing an antibiotic, okay, we can deal with that problem, you know. But if I'm dealing with a medication that's a lot more vasoactive and a little more critical, okay, now that tells me how I can prioritize my issue. But I like having the label on there. You know, clearly you'll have a label on your bag, but this just helps. It's just one extra little thing that helps you get your job done correctly. So that's the Alaris MedSystem 3 pump and the standard setup for it, and even the standard goof up for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you like this or you like others, feel free to check out my other videos, and until then, I will see you next time. Love, protect, and help.